Vols fans, it is 9:01
Good
in the
news, everyone.
PM. In the PM on Thursday, November 10th, 2022. And if you're watching this, you are watching the Very Yards live stream. I am your co-host, the Super Genius Wiley, alongside my erstwhile friend, hetero life mate.
Well, shit.
Introduce
I guess
yourself.
I'm young Brandon.
I guess he is. You're younger than me. That's that's sure as shit true. And it is Missouri week. We are coming off a rather humbling defeat to the Georgia Bulldoggies. Um, and we will address that
that
before
was
we
the
move
well
on.
shit part.
Well, the well shit part, and I look at it this way. I am not an athlete. Whenever I would scream at a player or get pissed at a player. My father would always say, "You get your ass out there and you try it." And he was right. He was right. But
Yeah.
I look at it this way. There are moments in life. Sometimes there are times where you define that moment, and there are times that moment defines you. Well, that moment, the moment in Athens, sure as hell defined us because it was it we weren't they weren't ready for they weren't ready for it. They were not ready for that moment. I'm not,
I agree.
and don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the coaches didn't prepare them. The it was not a bad game plan. It was not a bad game plan. They were going to they It was a smart game plan. You take the offense takes what the defense is going to give them, and you work with it, and eventually you break it open. But when your offensive line gets 8 illegal procedure penalties and is consistently behind the sticks, it's hard to keep a game plan going. And when you're
Right.
playing a team that is the caliber of the Georgia Bulldogs, let's face it, they're damn good. They're going to eat your ass alive, which is
Yeah.
exactly what happened. If the weather hadn't been as bad as it was and Georgia hadn't set under lead in the second half, it would have been a lot worse. It was a 27-13 score. The game wasn't that close.
No.
Okay. Now, the question is, what you going to learn from that?
Yeah.
How are you going to recover? How do you move forward after that experience? Hendon Hooker has owned his performance.
Yeah.
To his
I've
credit,
seen a lot of
to
things
his
about him.
credit, to his credit, he said, "I didn't have it. It was just, you know, everything that I did not do is on me." He didn't accept blame anybody else.
No.
But I've never. I mean, the the portion of this team that has been the biggest overall improvement from the previous season to now was the biggest disappointment.
Yeah.
Them boys got rattled. There's no other way. There is no other way to say
No.
it.
Hey,
A-
yeah.
a- and they just they were not they were not prepared to defend the position that had been bestowed upon them. It was too much,
Right.
too soon, and they got found
Hey,
out.
folks out there watching, if you want to be part of this show, I left a word out there. Uh, Go to our link there, streamyard.com/253FMNHPVM.
We are more
While we're
than happy to
talking
have
about
you.
Georgia and the Georgia boys,
Yes.
you know, what the hell?
Well, wish that I was on old Rocky Top down in the Tennessee hills. Ain't no smoggy smoke on Rocky Top, ain't no telephone bills.
The thing that I don't know why I'm kind of shocked and surprised the fact that I mean, he was in tune. That wasn't half bad. It wasn't half bad. Ducati. I mean, Ducati has some pipes. For those who don't know, that Mr. Ducati is a former actor. So he
Dun,
so, so
dun,
he does have experience
dun.
using his voice. Um,
What is
we
your
have
name, sir? The logical nor, and you're cut off.
yes. We now
Oh,
have
the logical,
Emily,
normal Georgia fan.
the logical
Oh,
normal George. Now, Mr. Logical Normal
Logical, normal Georgia fan.
Mr.
Remember,
Logical
last
Mr.
week?
Logical Normal Unbiased Emily qualified Georgia fan.
quick question for y'all, because Heather Ducati, Mrs. Ducati, left that. I it's three little boxes from what I can see.
Three little hearts.
It's
It's
three little hearts with
hearts.
little gold stars. I believe I'm going to use a term he used. I think that's a sign of Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
she
loves
loves
the
the pipes.
pipes.
She loves the pipes.
Ew.
Whoa,
Yeah.
it's not 10 p.m. yet, dude.
Let
We're not in
me put
blue
it
hour.
this
We're not
way.
in blue hour.
I will put my pipes up against anybody in Field of Streams. Okay, I will. Robin knows I can. Robin knows I can sing. Brandon knows I can sing.
I
have
don't.
done it.
Oh,
I have
yeah.
done it
I
on this
don't. I
show.
don't put my pipes against
Anybody. Anyway,
gentlemen.
so Mr. Emily qualified logical Georgia fan, whatever the hell you want to call yourself. Yes.
Twas.
Heather, we appreciate loyalty on this show, even if sometimes we feel it is comically misplaced. But thank you, we do appreciate that because we do honestly we love your husband too. Okay, not the same way, but we do love him around here, even though can be a major league pain in the ass. I'm sure he's probably that way to you too.
I'm sure she's well aware of that.
Oh yeah. But anyway, back to what I was trying to ask before comment came up. This is Robin Richards, by the way, Georgia fan. Robert Richards Esquire, Georgia fan, emeritus.
Can you feel that?
In perpetuity.
What I was saying before about Tennessee being in a moment that they were not prepared for. Metaphysically, I guess you could say that'd probably be the best way I could put it. They weren't ready for it. They got rattled, and y'all took advantage of it. I mean, and that doesn't
9,000 people.
I mean, that doesn't take away from the fact that Georgia is a fantastic team, which you guys are. I fully admit that. I mean, but when you're in that situation and you allow yourself to be,
we're the new Bama.
Give it a few years, but yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if I was in your position that I would. I think it is because we're still.
No, the articles are already out.
I don't. If I'm you guys,
the articles are already out. In fact, my bookkeeper at work said it, and she's a diehard Bama fan. And I was shocked.
I don't.
Wait,
I mean, I don't know.
Isn't calling yourself the new Bama?
Why? My question is, why do you? I don't know if it's an insult, but why do you want that? Fuck Bama. Be Georgia. Seriously. I mean, be the new Georgia. Be the Georgia, the president, the badass Georgia president.
I know
that everybody is.
Oh yeah, we are.
I mean,
since I know that's Mitch.
So that is my response.
Accept it.
Fuck Bama. Be Georgia. We need to put that on a t-shirt. We make some money on that.
Right.
Perhaps.
Hold on. Am I kind of stop and go with you guys?
Yeah, you are, unfortunately.
A little bit.
But that's,
with my okay.
Technology is
y'all talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, it's great until it doesn't work. So talk amongst yourselves. I will give you a topic. Georgia is the new Bama. Discuss.
The Crimson Tide. The Crimson Tide is neither Crimson or Title discussed.
Nor title.
Nor
Yeah.
Title.
Like butter.
Crimson nor a tie.
I don't.
Yes.
I don't
Call
know.
555
I'll
wolf.
repeat it. Wolf. No big whoop. We'll talk.
We'll talk.
Daughters. You know.
Linda Richmond.
Yeah.
Daughters.
I like to. What was it? Paul. What was the guy's last name? Paul. Was it Paul Baldwin?
Paul Baldwin.
Baldwin.
Yeah, Paul Baldwin.
He got Spilkis and his Connecticut link. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, back to the top.
Yeah. Okay.
Before we get it before we get a cease and desist from Broadway Video.
All right.
Okay.
Much
This
better.
is amazing.
Much better. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
There are two of them.
Yeah, there were two of me.
It's a trick, General Sherman. There's two of them.
He's multiplying.
Robin knows exactly what that joke is too.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh, here is a topic.
All right.
So does UGA beat Tennessee twice?
I don't know. I don't. Here's kind of the way I mean, as a Tennessee fan, looking through orange-colored glasses, of course, I kind of look at this as this was our SEC championship game, and we got Bama. It's the same thing that happened to Georgia last year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You give us a second chance. I think it's a different game. I do. I
agree with that.
I honestly do.
Looking at it realistically and not,
I mean, realistically, given the psychological hangover from last weekend and the weather we got coming in, I'm worried about this weekend. Missouri is that type of team that's offensively, they're not going to do shit. But that defense is good. Okay, they still lead the SEC in tackles for loss. So, I guarantee you, and that they are massive. The biggest improvement anybody has made statistically from one season, from last season to this season. The one unit overall, I think, in the conference is the Missouri defense, because that defense last year, especially the defensive line, was hot garbage, and they've made a huge jump this year.
I want to talk about that defense. We'll touch on something.
Okay.
Their leading tackler. You know what position he plays?
I think he's a defensive back. I have to look.
He is a defensive back.
I looked at their stats earlier. So.
What does that mean?
That means that their defensive line is getting they're still getting gashed on the run in the defensive line. So we should theoretically be able to run on them, but the problem is our banger is banged up. Jabari Small's got a shoulder that's dinged up, which
he is
by his own admission was his own fault. Yeah. He hurt when he hurt himself when he put his shoulder down and tried to run over a guy, and I think he jammed his right shoulder, and he only carried the ball 3 times, which doesn't hurt. Now,
do you know what would have helped Mr. Small if he had just taken a break
and had some?
If he had just taken a break. Had his Milos, and also some of these wonderful things. Some Dots pretzels. Made right here in America, North Dakota.
I mean, you gotta charge up somehow. Plus, there's the French's mustard.
Yeah. You dip a little Dots into some French's mustard.
Oh man, French's and mustard. Kiss. Classic combination.
Seriously, have y'all had these?
Have not.
Mm-mm.
Unfortunately,
they're amazing.
Unfortunately, they're not part of the diet anymore.
We're gonna. Well, that's true.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring them to the South. Dots. I just made your commercial. Mitch, I expect you to cut it if you're out there somewhere. All right. So
he's always out there. God is watching.
He is.
Also, Premier Protein. This is the I took the label off this for recycling purposes. This is the cafe latte protein shake. Very good, very good, especially when you've got a late night show and your ass is tired. You get a little caffeine in you, healthy caffeine in you, so you can get through it and sound like you're halfway awake, which I'm not. But I try to for my peeps, I try to keep the energy level up.
There you go.
Yep.
For the peeps.
For the peeps. So
let's take a look at some numbers here. So this is what we're facing on Saturday. Senior Day for the Vols, a game which Dren and I will be at.
It's going to be wet. It's going to be cold.
And that's just the pregame.
We're going to be there with bells on.
We will be there with bells.
We will. Come hell or high water. We may get both. Have to see.
Is this supposed to rain during your game?
It's going to rain tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to start. It's going to start. It's going to rain all day tomorrow. It's going to start about 3 a.m. and rain all day, and then it's going to quit tomorrow night, and it's supposed to come back. Another wave's supposed to come through before dawn Saturday morning. So it's going to be, and it's going to get up in the mid 40s in the stadium for game time. So it's going to be.
We started at 4 this afternoon.
Brisk.
Yeah, it's going to be brisk. It's going to be rainy. It's going to be rainy and windy and cold on that river. And we're sitting on the riverside. Who, big bringing the hot hands. I will probably be wearing this bad boy, which I obtained last week. So
good looking at, sir.
I like it. It's comfortable. It's very, very, very.
I like a beanie every once in a while.
I do too. I mean, it doesn't have the little poof ball on top of it, so it's not. I don't think it's a full-fledged beanie, but it does what it needs to do. So
let's talk about the quarterback here. What, in your estimation, how many yards should you have to be a good quarterback versus an elite quarterback?
I mean, they're entering what this will be their 10th game. They're 4-5, 10th game. So he's not even averaging 9 in the 179. I mean, he's not even averaging 200 yards a game passing.
So close to 3,000 by now. You think?
I would think so.
Level?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, and they're just not. They're not putting up any eye-popping stats. This is a team that they're going to ride their defense to keep the game close, and then try to take get some turnovers, take advantage of short fields. I mean, and we're just not an offense that turns the ball over a whole lot. No. Now, and Hooker. I mean, other than the fumbles, Hooker threw one bad ball, and Keely Ringo made him pay for it. Mm-hmm. He made the sin of putting the ball on the inside on the corner route. And you don't do that. And there was nothing Tillman could do about it. Tillman is not up to full speed, and he put the ball in the wrong place, and Ringo made him pay for it. And
so let's talk about Tillman. Rewinding here, do you think in drier weather he does significantly better than what he did at Georgia, or do you think he's hurt and that's why?
I think he's still recovering. Yeah, I don't think he's 100% yet. I don't see how he could be. I think he's good enough to get out there and move around. I'm also a little bit worried about Hyatt because he did tweak his knee.
Yeah.
So we're a little bit dinged up. I expect to see more Squirrel White, more Ramel Keaton tomorrow. More Brew McCoy. More Brew McCoy. Jalen Hyatt, by the way, is still currently the front runner for the Blitnikoff Award.
Yep.
So we'll see there. He is taking the lead in the fan voting on that. So that's good to see. Hopefully he can continue to live up to that. Saw Brock Bowers on that list, but I think Brock Bowers is probably going to run away with the Mackey Award, as he should.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that happening. I don't know that the sophomore has won the Mackey Award. I'm probably wrong about that, but I've never heard of one.
So my overall is Missouri that lesbian sex team.
I mean, it's
That
Or is it kind of the opposite of that? I don't know. These numbers don't impress me.
They're not eye popping numbers, but they've managed to win 4 games. They have not blown, and I mean the closest to blowing anybody out was when they beat South Carolina 23-10. But South Carolina is pretty much what everybody in this room assumed they were going to be, which is barely mediocre.
Yeah.
I mean, Spencer Rattler has not been shown the savior that they expected him to be, and a lot has to do with the personnel that's around him. I mean, he's only got one. He doesn't have an offensive line. He only has one decent receiver, and
right.
That Josh Vann has been proven time and time again that he can get shut down.
Yeah.
If it had not been for a really bad call, they probably would have beaten Kentucky. If for Georgia's just sheer force of will in the second half of that game, they could have beaten Georgia, but eventually Georgia started imposing their will, and then in the fourth quarter of that game, and they managed to pull it out. Luther Burden, a chubby kicker, and a stingy defense. I don't know that Luther Burden's going to be there very, very much longer. He seems to be pretty fickle. I think he might jam on out of there. It would not surprise me because he's been pretty childish over the season. He's removed all. He's one of these. He pulled a booty, and Keyshawn Booty, and took down all of his mention of his team. So
I need to hide that comment.
You do.
Yeah, it's blocking Robin's
and
face.
They are. We are much.
We're 14 points away from winning 3 more SEC games,
and they are. Nobody has blown them out.
Mm-mm.
It hadn't happened. So, us being 20-point favorites, and I have not seen the line lately. That's what the
asshole comment.
What's that?
Keep blocking.
Yeah, who's this guy? Dog Day Afternoon.
So I still don't know what the line is.
For what? Which game?
So it's actually gone up.
For the Tennessee game?
Yeah, it's
gone down by half a point.
I see 20.5. It opened at 20.
See, I saw 21 at first.
Yeah, ESPN Pick Center's got them at 20.5. Over unders 57. They've got us outscoring them 40-16.
See, we can all coexist now, baby.
If we've got
no, seriously.
If we can get off to a fast start, we'll be fine. Take that UGA jersey off and show that orange tee. That's on your chest.
No.
Hey Robin, I'll take care of this one for you. Here's his tee right there. There's his tee right there. Oh, you know who he is. It's a picture. You just don't rate. It's a different picture.
It's a beardless Ducati.
It's a beardless Ducati.
Oh, motor.
Yeah. So,
the great state of delirium. Gotcha.
The great state from the great state of delirium. Matt Ducati.
Speaking of which, let's get to some picks. We talked about it. We talked about the fat kicker or the chubby kicker.
Hey,
is he their best player?
He might be.
There's a question for you. That kicker, is he their best
I'm
player?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of the first name. The guy Dempsey, the guy who had the record for the Saints, who had the record.
Oh yeah.
Before Jason,
the guy with the half a foot.
Yeah, he wasn't exactly small. So Sebastian Janikowski. Wait,
Yeah,
Sebastian Janikowski has never been below 250 pounds his entire adult life.
He's a big old guy.
He's a big mother. So I don't hate on chubby kickers. If they get it done, they get it done.
You know who I like? Even though right there, Rodrigo Blankenship.
Yeah. Too bad he got cut.
And I think the Colts did him dirty.
I think they did too.
They did not respect the specs.
Did not respect the specs. He'll be back.
Oh, yeah.
He'll be back. Anyway, let's get our pick section done so we can move on with the Jack shit. Jack Flash. Gas.
Comment.
Jack Mehoff.
Oh, classic. We can hide that. People know what's going on. Dempsey, Jack Dempsey.
Well, it's Dempsey. Oh, Jack. Is it Jack Dempsey? Jack Dempsey was the
He's
fighter.
A boxer.
Jack Dempsey was the fighter. Hold on.
And yeah, he did make a point.
Tom Dempsey.
Yeah.
Tom Dempsey. Yeah. And then Rick Dempsey was the baseball player.
Mighty Jack Dempsey.
Yeah. Like Ray Charles.
Right. You know who should come on here is that guy that likes to make picks.
Oh, our Josh.
Yeah, him and Mitch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they didn't actually. Yeah, the Georgia boys took the week off. They.
I didn't know that.
Tom, dang it.
They didn't exactly for circumstances out of their control. They both had to take this week off. So feel free to come on, boys. Let's get some picks in.
I offered to host your little around the corner from the tree show.
Hell, I wasn't doing anything that day.
Let's get it started right.
Auburn?
Yeah, they're favored.
I just went with every SEC game, and there's 7 of them.
If this game was, the only reason why Auburn's favored is because this game is
at Auburn.
Is at Auburn. I'm assuming I have not heard any reports about A&M having multiple players out again this week from the flu. So, here's the thing. This game can be a huge step in changing.
You cannot rationalize your way out of this shit game. Sorry,
but this a big home win here could be a huge first step in removing the interim tag from Cadillac Williams.
That is true.
So
at the very least, I hope they hold on to him. If he's not going to be the coach.
They're playing hard for him. They put up a fight last week, more fight than they had the rest of the entire season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shelby Ward, love you, kid, but I'm gonna ride the Cadillac on this one. I'm gonna take Auburn at home. I'm plus the 1.5, minus the 1.5. I have a feeling about this one.
So many points. We got a comment.
It's a race 24 War Eagle. Well, yeah. Yeah. Yep.
24.
The fear-
Auburn says the
our fearless leader took Auburn, which let me tell you that burns like acid in his mouth.
Yeah,
He
I know.
hates Auburn. Oh, he hates Auburn.
I believe both these teams. I said I'm never going to pick either one of them. It's quite the conundrum. Robin?
Hey, after that Mississippi State game, which Saturday night from about 10:45 p.m. to about 11:10 p.m. was the craziest 20 some odd minutes of sport. Because you had the LSU Bama game, then you had Auburn Mississippi State, then Houston winning World Series, and then the Powerball drawing, and then it was just
Yeah.
That 20 some odd minute span was just insane.
Swirling around, swirling.
It's perfect storm of just one channel after the other. And again, I remember when I said last week, Auburn has a football team, and I just thought the Cowbells were going to do it, and well, they did, but not by what they thought. The momentum, some people don't believe in it, but hey, after a game like that, and it's at home, there's some momentum going on. I firmly believe the War Tribe Plain Eaglesmen will win by more than that. I'm going to say it might be a touchdown or so.
Yeah, I would be comfortable with 3 points, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about the race to 24. Race to 13.
It's going to depend,
yeah. But just A&M is just.
Dumpster fire doesn't fit.
Yeah, I know. It's a dumpster filled with shit that has been set on fire.
And then
someone's pushing it into some radioactive material.
And radioactive material in the middle of train tracks, waiting for the train to come hit it.
Exactly. For fun.
With the Titanic, with the iceberg from the Titanic coming from the coast,
right? Falling from the sky.
Exactly.
And the torpedo.
The rim that's the Hindenburg raining down. Okay, we're getting really hyperbolic here. Let's keep going.
Yeah, I love it.
Hey, did you guys see they found part of the Challenger?
Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
They find the part the fireman said broke.
This portion brought to you by the History Channel.
Yes. by the geeks who run this show.
Okay. We'll save UGA and Tennessee for last.
Okay.
Tennessee.
Since we got a Bulldoggy on here.
UGA, what?
South Kakalaki at Florida.
Robin first.
Okay.
Yeah, Florida. I don't know what more.
You think they'll beat him by 8?
Yeah. 10.
Yeah. This might.
Can you say? It's just like meh.
Yeah, I think
it's half a step above that game we just picked.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Napier maybe pulled the trigger too early on Brenton Cox. Because I was kind of hoping he'd hang along. He'd hang around for a little while just to get a couple of personal foul penalties on Rattler.
Getting his whole paycheck
on the Gators. I know this has been a really weird week for our fearless
Why?
leader, but yeah. I mean, the Gators have looked.
Did someone
I
ask you
since
to make your
they
own
they
page?
the Gators bounced back nicely from the drubbing that Georgia gave them. And I think they're at least 8 points better than South Carolina, especially at home. If they don't win this one,
Better.
then yeah,
There's one good reason Jimbo needs to be fired. There are several million reasons
saving
saving.
him from being fired.
This is true.
Well,
I just when I imagine Jimbo Fisher, and I imagine some room filled with rich oil men,
yeah.
and there's one just in the corner that looks like the crypt keeper with a cowboy hat on, right? And he says, let's get rid of him. And he's willing to pay that $95 million or whatever the hell they owe him.
Well, here's my point about it. Okay, I'm picking Florida, by the way, to cover. If let's say they do buy him out, A&M is now has. I mean, just
I don't know.
I said this last week. A&M has the worst booster situation in the country, and you're in the same fucking division of the same conference as Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
That says everything you need to know. Who is going to want that job? What legitimate coach is going to want to put up with that? I honestly don't know. And so I mean, Ducati, I agree with you. They've got 90 million reasons to keep him, but the other one is who they going to get. Nobody reputable is going to want that job.
No,
they have seriously screwed that up when they gave him that contract. I mean, the Bobby Bowden's lifetime contract at Florida State was more logical than what A&M gave Jimbo.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep moving on our picks.
Let me get to South Carolina, Florida. I think Florida wins. Yeah, let's make it interesting. I'll pick South Carolina. I think Florida wins, but I don't think they get.
I could see.
I don't think they win it by 8.
I can see this being a 10-point game, 10 to 14 point game for Florida. That's what that's kind of what I think.
You hate to see it. Assie's gonna ass. Truer words, my friend. Truer words, never spoken.
Maybe that's why they jacked up the gas prices, so those oil men can.
Yeah, let's get that.
Not inflation; it's greed.
It's a buyout.
Yeah, it's a buyout. There you go.
I think they've got like they've cloned Ross Perot and he's sitting in the corner. He's like,
interesting game.
Yeah.
Interesting pick. Interesting spread. I don't know why it's so high, and they're at Ole Miss.
Yeah, I
go ahead, discuss.
Prevent. I mean, look, Bama's usually pissed off after a loss. That might have something to do with it.
How about?
But no.
2 losses.
Saying after a loss, they usually beat the crap out of the next team. When they lost against Tennessee, who was the first victim?
Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Ole Miss is better than Mississippi State, especially defensively.
I do too.
Especially defensively.
Same state, but that's kind of crazy. But yeah.
I don't.
No, I throw shade at Beamer's shades.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Had to be done.
I don't see Bama covering 11.5. They could very easily lose this game. So I'm gonna take Ole Miss in the points. I think they're gonna hang around. They're gonna hang around. Bama may pull it out, but I just this is a hard one to predict. Lane just needs to shut up and lay off the popcorn and call the game.
Yeah, just play football.
Just
Quit
play
being a jackass.
Just play. Don't be a jackass. Play football. I guarantee you the old man had something to say about that last year.
Yeah.
Oh, Monty.
Is the old man still alive?
I think Monty is still alive. Yeah. I think he is.
What if Lane wins outright, though?
Well,
Then
LSU's in the driver's seat, and they still got to play A&M.
Ooh, spooky.
So, I mean, I like chaos. I love chaos, but you know.
Yeah. What? All right, Robin. What do you think about this Ole Miss?
Again, a Bama team that loses. If you're the next person on the list, I'd start checking my life insurance policies. Because they're gonna just be super pissed and they're gonna take it out on the next person. That said, Lane, as much as I can't.
It looks like my camera's frozen. My camera isn't frozen.
Yeah, not a big fan of him either, but I mean, he does.
Oh no! This is to the comment section.
Yeah.
Rocky flop.
They're still ranked higher, bro. From a logical, normal Georgia fan. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the thing. Bama's going to win, but Ole Miss covers it. And I'm thinking it's going to be like 8 or something. I mean, it's going to be some weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Goes for 2. Who knows? I mean, but yeah, this a few weeks ago, it was kind of like, oh, this is going to be great. And then again, we're just in a meh week in this.
Yeah. A little bit of a meh week.
Yeah.
For sure. I tell you what, I think Bama folds like a house of cards when it faces a good defense. I don't think they're half as good on offense as they were last year.
Yeah, they just don't have the skill positions they've had.
Yeah, they don't have those wide receivers. They might win. It might be, but I'm going to take Ole Miss. You heard that right. Ole Miss.
Audit.
Lane Kiffin can still go fuck himself, but
still not bitter, right?
Yeah.
I just think he's an asshole. All right. The most exciting game.
Oh, here we go, man. Oh, yeah.
Vanderbilt.
Fight fastly, Vandy, fight fastly. Muffy, mix the cocktails. Vandy, fuck Vandy. I some part of me hopes that Levis throws for 500 yards and 8 touchdowns against Vanderbilt. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't hope that.
I don't think that's going to happen. Kentucky's defense is better than what we saw in Knoxville. Vandy has just been on a gradual slide ever since the Wake Forest game.
Remember how they started out this season?
Yeah. I mean, the overall the record's improved by 1 game. And Mike Wright for Vanderbilt is a good quarterback. He keeps he's not dull. He's mobile. He can move the ball. But Kentucky needs big. Kentucky needs a big win here. So
can you tell Mitch loved the Kentucky Wildcats?
So I'm gonna say, especially since this is in Lexington, and the weather's going to be bad. I think Chris Rodriguez is going to have a big game. He's certainly due for one. Yeah, I'm gonna take Kentucky big in this one. I'm gonna say Kentucky's going to beat them like 40-17 or something like that. It's yeah. I may be completely wrong about that. Vanderbilt may not even score 17, but I think Kentucky's going to be able to score on them.
I remember this. His big blue drum got tossed. Robin, what do you think?
Well,
what's some logical Georgia fan knowledge on us, sir?
Remember at the beginning of the season, Georgia was kind of circling the Kentucky game. And we thought, okay, that was going to be the challenge. And then, of course, you got that. Yeah, what the hell did y'all do in Knoxville last couple of weeks ago? I was like, I wasn't expecting that. Again, this is just meh week. This is the best of the meh, I guess. Being that it's at Kroger Field, I expect Kentucky to sack a lot.
But I'm bump clank.
You're welcome. Yeah, I know. I'll be here all week. There'll be style. Just
clever, very clever.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Kentucky go just crazy. Oh, there was a comment. There we go. Eeples whipped with his what the
Go home, Ducati. You're drunk.
Again, it's delirium.
You got some bad scrapple in Yingling, kid. Go home.
I mean, we should be thankful for Pennsylvania for a couple of reasons, but right now you are not making a great case for that state.
Fuck yeah.
Hashtag
made who curse?
You.
Did he not hear me last week?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows what Ducati hears?
Voices inside
Voices at the top of that list.
Yes.
I kid.
All right, moving on.
So you think Kentucky's going to lay the wood?
21 at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I see this as being a three score game.
It's Vanderbilt. I like their quarterback. That'd be cool if he scored a touchdown. Maybe if the second and third string gets out there in the fourth quarter. But yeah, Kentucky's got this. Okay. LSU given 3.5 to that other Dargan disappointing team, the Razorbacks.
Yeah, LSU has just been kind of enigmatic. That's true. Say LSU drops this one, that puts them in a tie with Bama.
Yep.
I don't know what that Arkansas defense is doing. They're just not playing to the level that they've been at. LSU.
It is you don't know which team's going to show up.
LSU is riding pretty high. I don't know what the weather forecast is for this game, but I would tend to believe that it's going to be probably one of the less weather affected games, considering how far west it is.
Yeah.
Bacon bits, I love you, baby, but you're my boy, DW. I'm gonna take.
It's basketball season. He can root
yeah, I know.
for
Yeah,
them.
I'm taking the corn dog eaters. I'll take LSU -3.5.
All right. Well, I remember last year when I was up there the night before the Tennessee game at Georgia, I remember this game was one of the picks. And then I remember saying, I remember when LSU was my West team. And that's, and I mentioned her indirectly, all that. And then I said I'd go with Arkansas because of Sam Pittman. And now I believe the pendulum is swinging back a little bit, only because I actually do kind of want the LSU Georgia championship game.
Of course you do.
Just because I would really love to relive the sweet, sweet catharsis that I got from the 2013 game, for varying reasons. So in order for that to happen, LSU obviously has to win. What was it again? 3.5?
Yeah.
Yes.
It'll be like, is this at Fayetteville or War Memorial?
Mitch, do your thing.
Let us see. I don't know. That's a good question.
I assumed it was in
Fayetteville, but I know every once in a while they
Fayetteville.
Memorial.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll get an answer, but I don't think location's going to matter. I was just kind of curious, but either venue. Yeah, LSU's going to 7, 8. Hell, he might go for 2 again. Who knows? 8 to 10 range probably.
Yeah, I'm thinking more 6.
Okay. Can Sam Pittman get these boys ready to roll? Remember a couple of weeks ago when KJ Jefferson had woke up out of his coma?
Well, he had he had been injured.
Yeah. In Fayetteville. Yeah, he'd been injured, but it was like, the savior has returned to Arkansas football. Was it Liberty they played last weekend? They lost.
Yep.
I assume LSU is better than Liberty.
One would think.
You would. After what
although Liberty, to their credit, is 25th, I believe, in the nation.
Well, even though their head coach is a sleaze bag, he's still a good coach.
Big time sleaze bag.
Well, we could go rehash the Liberty former administrations as well.
Right. That's true. That's true.
I'm gonna take LSU. That's not that many points. I think they can win. I think they win by a touchdown, at least. And with that, we'll go to this game. Our esteemed guest can go first.
Sometimes when I pick Georgia games, I always seem to do a weird reverse anti-pick where I think the games that we should do very, very well in, Georgia, kind of craps it, like Missouri, like Kent State, the anomaly game.
Nickel State.
Yeah, boy. And then, the game like last week, Georgia wins, Tennessee covers. I don't remember how many times I said that. We can roll back to the tape. But yeah, I'm done with it. Georgia rolls. I'm sure if I drove by the stadium tonight, Kirby has amplified cowbell noise running through the stadium during practices. I wouldn't put it past him.
That's what I'd do.
I would. I just find all noise and just amplify it and cross it and all that. Just because.
Now, I don't know. I don't remember who I said this to, but those damn cowbells, that is like the thick-skulled Neanderthal fucking cheer of a football team. Look at this. Ding, 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 ding.
When I was running my staff pick'em, I think I originally had this at 18, so I'm kind of close, which is kind of nice. Fuck you. Half the alumni can take one of those and do something with it. Jesus, Mary freaking Christ.
You're cut off, sir.
Georgia by 21.
You think?
We're gonna cream. I don't know. Maybe it's because Motorcycle Boy's pissing me off to no avail. Take the dog. Hey, flea flicker, man. Let's pull one of those shits again.
I don't know why, but I'm getting kind of a cathartic thrill watching Georgia fans eat their own.
I like it.
I love you, R, but man, this is this is perversely kind of fun. I personally think Keely Ringo is going to have a hell of a game.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if we couldn't throw on Georgia, I don't know how in the hell Mississippi State expects to throw on Georgia.
Yeah.
So I'm
there.
I'm going to predict Georgia's defense comes up with 3 turnovers, possibly all picks, one of which gets returned for a touchdown.
Dude, I was
this line could be 30, and I'd still take Georgia.
I was at Georgia during the golf day, so you can stuff it. There was a comment. I saw it.
Coach Ragu?
Yeah. I watched him. I watched surfing a Peach Bowl against Virginia. So, no, I'd rather not. Fans don't clown.
Yeah. Maybe.
The double clown to you, mister.
Brandon, did you make your pick on this one?
I did not. Here's my point. Not on my head. Mississippi State's only chance to win this game is to somehow show up defensively. And at the beginning of the year, they were touted, and the old crazy pirate. Nah, Georgia.
Thanksgiving.
You're gonna take it to him.
Points, yeah.
How do y'all feel about the crazy pirate?
I think the novelty's worn off.
Given the range,
I agree.
Given the range of personalities I deal with on a daily basis, it really, he really doesn't bother me all that much. But at some point, the lack of personal skills is.
Well, did you see?
I'm amazed. I'm amazed he's been able to survive in the high profile jobs that he's had.
Yeah,
it's gonna come to bite him in the ass.
He started folding up all the chairs so his players couldn't sit down, his receivers.
Well,
like he's out there like an old
here's the thing
man with dementia.
Here's the thing that I don't get. Here's the thing that I don't get. He's never played a down of football.
No.
He's never played a down of football. He's not. Admittedly, he's not an athlete. He's never played, which in and of itself is not a mortal sin. But I just don't see how he has any ability to relate to his players. I really don't. The Missouri itty bitty Tiki Tigers from Como.
Anybody see the thumbnail?
Coming into Knoxville. Robbie, why don't you go ahead and pick this one?
We'll
do this for last.
Because I've got the most arduous 48 hours ahead of me, of which I might get like 7 hours.
No, I did not see it. I'm not surprised.
Drive back across the state, probably sleep at the school, and then run a tournament. Yeah. And then try to not fall asleep during the Georgia game. I got you guys more than 20. I got you like 21, 24. Hooker's just going to have a field day. I don't care if it's raining. He'll make it happen. I've got you 21 plus. Again, let's see what happens after you lose a game. If you kind of have that, next person's going to die kind of thing.
I think that's where we're headed.
Yeah.
Personally.
In the past, that used not to be the case, but yeah,
we're gonna we get through this week. We're gonna keep tabs on George Rogers' vital signs. Yep. Brandon.
Rain, snow, sleet, hail. Fuck your mailman. Hendon Hooker's going to play some football on Saturday. It's senior day. I think, 20 and a half, maybe 35.
This could go one of two ways. If we could start slow and they hang around and it bites us in the ass in the end because their defense, or we get off to a fast start, score 28 to 35 points in the first quarter and a half, and it's a runaway. I happen to think it's more the and I get my terminology here, latter, second one. Hook ain't going out like that. I don't see it. I don't see him allowing that to happen. The offensive line is embarrassed. They're pissed off. I think they're going to hurt some people out there. I think they're going to smack some bitches up. So I could also see us running for 200 yards in this game. It's at Neyland. It's at Neyland. Yes, it's at Neyland. Well, if it was Columbia, we'd be driving out in the morning.
I was going to say, if you listen to the beginning of the show, they said they were going to the game, so therefore, logic again. Logic.
And the little @ symbol after Missouri, there, Matt.
Peanut butter.
Yeah. Like I said, bad Scrapple and Yingling is a bad mix. It's like, it's like
that's the sound of that boy's brain cells leaving his head.
Leaking out his ears. Stop studying. All right.
Who is stuttering?
Y'all gonna get off. Y'all gonna get off my. Y'all gonna get off my boy. Um, I really believe this is going to be a this is going to be a 28-35 point game. I do. I see us hanging. I see us putting up 50 again against Missouri.
Yeah,
We're going to take this one and bank it. This is going to be the blowout that Missouri has not had this year. I really feel that.
Yeah, it hadn't been pretty. So we went to their house and beat the dog shit out of them last year.
I embarrassed them.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just. Whew. Y'all can't call down the rain and complain. Y'all can't call down the rain and can complain when you get wet.
Can we tell the rain to shut the fuck up?
I don't even. That's not even dime store psychology.
No, it's not accurate because he would be the rain, so he kind of washed ashore. Anywho, this show's gone over an hour, but hell, I'm having fun.
Yep. Luckily, one of us doesn't have to go to work tomorrow.
Oh,
it's true. Happy birthday to Dren.
35 again.
With how many years?
35.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, I One of my students asked how old I was, and I said, take a guess. She said 30. I said, you're passing the class. And the other kid's 50, and I said, you're failing. So, yeah.
As long as I stay clean shaven, I can pass for my 30s.
Yeah.
Yep. Because the beard is all silver, baby.
Well, all right. Well, like I said, I got a 48-hour, God knows, nice knowing you if I go down the interstate and God knows what happens, but no. But yeah, y'all have fun with that. Enjoy the cold.
Oh, we will.
Sleep.
Before you leave, and all you Georgia fans watching,
I did see this picture.
It's time for the good, the bad, and the double bagged. So the good this week. The Georgia Bulldogs.
The who?
The Georgia Bulldogs. Are they good this week? The Georgia freaking Bulldogs.
We admit it. We have not denied it. We've never said anything else, but the fact
played a hell of a game out there in the slop.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it so much at the beginning. Congratulations to the bottom of our totem pole, as it were. Our friend Ducati, our friend Mitch.
Patrick, the Gator hater. Shout out.
Patrick, the Gator hater. Mikey, who's kind of a half in, half out Bulldog fan. I think he said he rooted for him when Clemson wasn't doing good. So I'm sure he's experiencing a little excitement that they won.
Anything to take his mind off of the color gold.
Oh, wait until you see the bad and the double bagged. So that's the bad. It was a real toss-up moment. Because with 2 losses, you kind of are double bagged. I mean, you're shit out of luck when it comes to the college football playoff picture.
Yeah, and if you by Alabama standards, you obviously are. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's by current Alabama standards.
They're just so Saban's got free reign, right?
Yep.
As far as leaving Bama, worrying about his job, that he doesn't have to worry about any of that shit. He's gonna be there.
He doesn't need the money anymore.
No. They've been in kind of a decline though, to me, since like 2018, 2019.
Well, I mean, it's the law of diminishing returns. At some point,
Right.
it's gonna start to go down. And recruiting is a good example of. Robbins taught this, the law of what's called the law of diminishing marginal utility.
Mm-hmm.
The more you use of something, the less benefit you're gonna get from it.
Right.
So,
do you think he feels like kind of a similar way, like if we don't get that perfect season next year, I've got a 5-year plan that includes me getting the hell out of Alabama?
Or it could be the Big Daddy 10-year plan, but as long as you don't turn into a fry cook at Hooters.
Those balls.
I know. Yeah, I know. I honestly think here's kind of what I think about this. Let's say Bama does lose to Ole Miss and we got a bunch of ball game opt-outs. At some point he's got to be experiencing a little bit of burnout.
Yeah.
At what point are you going to say enough? Because Saban's 65, 66?
No, he's 70 something.
Oh, he's 70?
Is he in his 70s already?
Yeah, at some point he's Bear Bryant without the bad habits. Without the Chesterfields.
Mm-hmm.
That we know of.
Well, at least ones that he keeps well hidden. It wasn't nothing for Bear to go out the goalpost.
You know what I love the most about Nick Saban is his hair. That shit just turns one color to the next from week to week.
Yeah.
Varies in thickness.
But I would be surprised to see him last another 4 or 5 years. I just think at some point you're going to get tired.
Yeah.
You're going to get dotty, and at what point do you start without the egregious cover-ups, do you reach a Paterno's kind of status?
Yeah.
And note that I said without the egregious cover-ups.
I caught that part.
Yes, I hope the Alabama fans who watch this did too.
Yeah. What'd you say?
What'd you say about you?
Well,
you like Joe Paterno? I was like,
speaking of some Bama fans, again, I'll bring up the bookkeeper at work, and she's already in the sky is falling mode and everything, and then she said something, and I had to keep a straight face for a few seconds, and she said, "Well, I just think Bama's just going to find a way to get Kirby Smart to come back."
Yeah.
And I said, "He's a Georgia boy through and through." She said, "Well, he was born in Alabama." Well, he was born in Montgomery. I mean, okay, yeah, but as I'm sure,
technically Auburn country.
I'm sure as Mitch as furiously is typing at this moment before I can say it, the boy's from Bainbridge. He is the boy from Bainbridge. And then
well, now I got to check the comments again real quick.
Georgia alumni is going to empty their bank accounts into the Hartman Fund to raise and let Georgia give him $1 billion contract for him to stay. He kind of. I walked out of the room, but yeah.
I think the logical successor is Dabo.
Hmm.
To Bama?
Yeah.
But would he want to? I mean, would he?
He's a Bama guy. He was a Stallings guy.
But
So
he's got it decent at Clemson.
If you follow Lane Kiffin on Twitter, he kisses that Saban ass all he can. He's gunning for it. Anywho, we get to the double bagged. Gentlemen, what two teams are those?
as Notre Dame and Clemson.
Yep, that's what I see. I don't know where that head's going, but
I know.
What?
I mean, I've never seen
what
the
in
helmet
the
up the ass
hell?
tackle.
What in the hell happened on Saturday?
Yeah,
that they kicked their ass.
they did not bring
Bad.
They forgot to bring their own guts. That's what it was.
Well, I mean, it always happens to Clemson at some point. They lose that one game that they're not supposed to drop, and I mean it caught up with. I legitimately thought it was going to be Syracuse. I thought Syracuse was going to beat them.
Valid point.
Notre Dame this season has been the most schizophrenic.
Oh yeah.
Major team in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, they embarrassed themselves against Marshall.
Yeah.
And they beat Clemson.
My thought on Notre Dame.
I mean, and as bad as the Marshall game was, Stanford was even worse. I think at the time Stanford had won one game.
And
both those games were at home too. So I mean, and I think Marcus Freeman is going to be a hell of a coach if he's given enough time. But and I'm seeing DJ implode again is not surprising. I'm amazed. I'm amazed Dabo has stuck with him as long as he has.
Yeah, but Jesus.
I honestly think
his backup was
Klubnik. Yeah,
shit sandwich.
Well, I honestly think that. I mean, let's be honest. Dabo lost his two top assistants last year.
Yeah.
I mean, Tony Elliott to Duke, and then Venables to Oklahoma. And so, I don't know. I don't know that Streeter is the answer there. I kind of look at him as the draw an analogy with Tennessee when Randy Sanders took over from David Cutcliffe after the 98 season.
Days.
Now, granted, Randy Sanders has turned out to be a pretty decent coach. I mean, he was a big part of those, the Florida State staff that won the national title, and he did a lot to help Jameis Winston win a Heisman. So, he turned out to be a good coach. I just don't. I honestly think Dabo's going to have to make some personnel changes at the end of this year, and it's not going to make people happy. But if he wants to keep his administration happy, he's going to have to clean house offensively.
Yeah. All apologies to Mikey, but
yeah, I don't know that Mikey would disagree with what I'm saying.
No, I don't think he would. With this pick as being the just, yeah. But I did have trouble between Alabama and Clemson. Who had the worst week?
I think this is the more egregious loss.
Yeah, I'm gonna edge it to these guys. And finally, what y'all showed up for And it's kind of an item.
It's something that could be purchased.
It is something that can be purchased. A tattoo celebrating. So it's not just a tattoo of Smokey.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tattoo of the win against Bama at Neyland. And I got to say, I think it's kind of unfortunate.
I mean, I look, go with God. Do what you want to do. I am not a tattoo guy.
Nope.
I'm just not.
I don't get the allure.
I don't either. I mean, the way it was like, well, you're showing your individuality, and I'm like, I'm an obnoxious, crazy motherfucker to begin with. Why do I need to mark myself like that to prove it? So, but Vols fans, y'all do you, okay?
Like I would wear a T-shirt with that on it.
Yeah. I mean, I actually like the. I mean, that's kind of reminiscent of my orange and white Hawaiian shirt that you've seen me wear on this show.
Yeah. But that's one of the reasons. It did remind me of you a little bit because the old wine shirt.
You'd catch me wearing that shirt with the sunglasses. You'd never catch me wearing that shirt with a cigar because I abhor smoking, for a multitude of personal reasons. But I mean, it is what it is. It's not. I don't think it's hideous, but it's not something that I would ever choose to do personally.
I'm not going to make a personal judgment against this person.
No. I'm not.
It doesn't seem like the kind of fan that I would be hanging out with on a regular basis.
Could be an incredible human being, but
could be. Maybe the next Nobel Prize winner. I don't know.
Hardly.
At least it's on their arm, not their. Is that on a thigh?
I can't tell. I think it's his right arm.
Yeah, that's a pretty damn big bicep right there.
Yeah.
So
it's more on the side of a bingo wing. If you catch my drift, I think.
I know all about the bingo wings. Yeah, unfortunately.
You're becoming bingo winless, sir. All right, folks. That is our show.
We are done.
We're going to take on Missouri on Saturday.
Senior Day. Say farewell for Neyland Stadium the last time to some of our boys, Hendon Hooker included. Want to thank everybody who came on tonight, gave comments. Fearless Leader,
absolutely.
Ducati, and of
thank
course,
you, Robin.
And of course, the half of the Ducati family, family that counts Heather, of course. So everybody stay safe. You should always thank veterans for their service every day, but especially tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Veterans Day.
The day of the armistice where we honor all veterans. Make sure that you try to take time out and think about those who are served and currently serving. But in other words, go Vols. Catch you on the flip side, and we will see y'all next Thursday evening.
We'll see you. Anything to say, Robin?
One last thing. You're talking Senior Day. Shout out. I doubt she'll see it, but who knows? Kat Hennessy is a senior in the Pride of the Southland band, and
Pride of the Southland.
Yeah. So the name Kat Hennessy, she's on the drum line. I think she plays the top small bass drum because she's a tiny little thing. But she is ending her band career at Tennessee, and the two times that I was up there, it would have been freshman and junior year. I did get to see her for a little bit. So it's always cool. It's always cool to see a former student go to a band. I don't care who it is. You know,
Yeah.
we band folks. You know, we can razz each other sometimes.
You're a very cultish lot.
Yeah.
Just,
we're very-
well, just like the Fast and the Furious, it's all about family.
all about the band family, you know. But yeah, so have fun with that. Maybe should get a cool band bowl game this time. Better than Music City, hopefully.
Yeah,
But yeah,
God willing.
Y'all enjoy the show, whatever it is this year.
All right, guys. That's it for us. Stay tuned. You can support us here.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
We are at a critical juncture in our growth, and so we appreciate the views, but we need to press that little button with the bell on it. The more subscriptions to get, the more we can continue, and the more content we can put out.
Drop us some money, a little change here and there if you like. No, it's easy going. Couple of guys.
Yeah, it's not necessary and it's not required, but it is definitely appreciated.
Eat your dots; they're delicious.
And fans, be on the lookout for us this weekend at the game. We will be out. We will be out with signs. It is my birthday weekend, so
Happy birthday!
You know, that's it's always a tradition for me to go to the game on my birthday. So, hopefully that will lead to a resounding Vols victory and a lot of people coming up to us and shaking hands and saying, "Hey, we support you guys," and that's what we hope. That's
Absolutely. All right, go Vols. We'll see you guys next Thursday. Bye.
Salute.